Hi, welcome to Pearls of Motherhood. I'm your host, Diana.
And I'm your host, Tessie. Today we're asking a big gut level question. Where's the village everyone talks about?
Yeah, right? Everyone's always saying it takes a village to raise a child, but so many moms today are raising kids in what feels like a complete isolation.
Yeah, so today we're going there. The loneliness, the broken systems, and also how we can start to rebuild a village from scratch. Because let's be real, that's why we created this podcast is to
Yeah.
build a village. That's the whole point because motherhood is so isolating and lonely and we're constantly doubting ourselves. We're constantly feeling like we're alone in these struggles that we have or that it's only our kid or it's only us that's going through that. But that's not true, and that's why we wanted to create this podcast and
Community.
everything. No, none of us are alone, and we can all lean on each other because we're
Mhm.
always hearing about this village. Well, where is it? It's right here.
Yeah, we're here for you. Pearls of Motherhood, we are your village.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. Okay, so let's get into the myth of the village. So, historically, humans really did raise their kids in a community, in a tribe, in a village, right? Babies were cared for by not just moms, but aunties, cousins, neighbors. Raising a child wasn't a one woman job, it involved everyone.
Mhm. Yeah, and so okay, so fast forward to today, and a lot of moms are parenting alone in apartments or houses, sometimes far from family, often without affordable childcare, and sometimes even without paid leave. And
Mhm.
and then there's also that thing where there's the married single mother where the dads are always gone too, working, and it's just super isolating, and I think it's a cultural thing within America too.
I have to agree with that because lots of countries still parent in the village mentality. So extended families often live close together or even in the same house, and kids are
Mhm.
constantly surrounded by multiple generations. So there's built in support every single day.
Mhm. Yeah, and that how nice would that be actually?
So nice.
Where did this come from in America that we're so isolated and I don't know what the word is, but we're just very not we're not connected or friendly, I guess you could say.
Right? Because
Like
the goal was that we move out of our parents' houses, right? We get
Mhm.
out. While
Mhm.
in other cultures, it was we stay in. I have to say, my in-laws are visiting right now. So grandma and grandpa are here, and it's so great. It's
Mhm.
wonderful.
Yeah, it is, and it kinda makes you wonder, why does it feel so impossible here in the US?
Mhm.
Our culture promotes independence, but, it comes at such a huge cost for parents, and also, the grandparents are there. Your daughter is getting so much out of that,
Yep.
and the interactions and the differences in the style of how they treat her and everything like that. There's, such benefits to that.
There is. So when moms ask, "Where's my village?" It's not that we're doing something wrong, it's that the model isn't there. The model is broken.
Mhm.
So, okay, Tessie, I wanted to ask you, you are about to be a mom of 5. What did you imagine your village or your tribe to look like before you had kids? And how is it different now in reality?
Hmm. I guess I don't really know if I really thought about it before I had kids. I guess in my own mind, I thought that I would be um obviously close to family, you
Mhm.
know, and have friends that had kids and uh I don't know. I guess I just didn't really think about it. And it is I had to move though to be
Mhm.
close to family.
Mm.
To have that support system, I had to move after my first one was born so that I could have that support system.
Mhm.
And then it took like a minimum of 2 years for me to start building a mom village, of making friends. And then
Mhm,
here was my struggle. Like, we live in a rural town, a very small town that doesn't have a lot of industry, not a lot of things for kids, not a
mhm,
lot of professional families want to live here or can live here you know, and raise a family. It's a hard
mhm.
thing to do. And so what happened ended up happening was, like, as soon as I would find my tribe of mothers here, they would all have to move for work reasons
Yeah.
or family reasons or
Mhm,
school reasons or whatever. And so I was constantly starting over,
mhm.
finding more moms to connect with. And I'm already a very slow to warm up person as it is. It's not like I'm not the kind of person where I meet you and we're best friends. Like, that's just not me. Don't Anyone should not take that personally, because it's not like my thing. I'm not like
Mhm,
that with anybody. I'm
mhm.
very like, I'm gonna find out if I can trust you first type of
Yeah,
person.
of course,
And
of
it
course.
takes me a while to warm up to people and to
Mhm.
gauge that. Even though for the most part, I know it, like, right off the bat in my
Right,
gut for the
because
most
you
part,
can
but, like,
read a person, you can read a
yeah.
person. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
get that.
I just don't get close to people, like, just overnight, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, that's been a huge struggle. It feels like I would make friends and then they're, like, gone, and then I have to
Yeah,
start all over again, and it got to the point where I was like, "This is dumb. I'm not putting all this effort in because it doesn't happen for me overnight. It takes effort to make friends for me, because I'm very particular." So I got to the point where I was like, I don't need friends. I No more friends. I don't need friends.
well, so Tessie, you and I were in that situation because we were introduced with, "Oh, you're young, you 2 should be friends," and
Yeah.
fortunately, it worked.
Yeah.
And I left you. I moved out of our
Oh,
small
yeah,
little
you're
town.
one of the ones that left me.
I did,
That's so funny.
but the thing is that I am one of those people that I'll make friends with anyone. I'll make
Yeah.
friends with anyone. It doesn't matter. But once I'm not close, super close to everyone, but I'll be friendly to everyone. But
Yes, I can get
once you
along with everybody.
yeah.
Literally anybody and everybody. I can get along with them, but if I whether I'm gonna trust them to be my friend or not.
Basically, it's my fault that we're still friends because 'cause I'm like, "No, you are in my group, and I'm not ever letting you go. I'm moving across the country, but I'm still gonna bug you."
Yeah.
That's really on me.
And it's probably, like, your persistence even in the beginning where, like, I'm, like, just so much more standoffish, I guess, and I mean, I'm friendly, but
You
to
are.
me,
I liked
you
you.
know I don't know how you feel about this, but, like, does it, like, kind of annoy you when you put a lot of effort into trying to be friends with somebody and they don't reciprocate it? And then you're like, "Why am I do always the one putting in the effort?" Obviously, if you don't wanna be friends with me, like, I don't care that much, honestly. You know what I mean?
I I I totally understand that, and yes, that is very frustrating because friendship is a two-way street. It has to be mutual. It can't be
Yeah.
one-sided. It doesn't work that way. But I never thought of you as standoffish. I
No,
think you and
I'm
I get along
friendly.
well. Yeah, you are,
Yeah.
and we got along almost immediately.
Mhm.
So,
I'm
I think
friendly.
you are.
I
You're
give
not
people
mean.
chances and I do make the effort, but at the same time, it's like if the effort isn't reciprocated, I'm not the kind of person that's gonna be like, continue on. I'll be like, "Okay, well, moving on."
I think I think what your point was really profound that you had to move to have that support and to have your village, and it's hard to maintain, right? To
Mhm.
maintain the people you trust the most around
Yes.
your kids
Yes.
because the ones they tend to leave or they're
Mhm.
not immediately here or I just don't trust you. That's really I think that's a really profound thing to think about because it's being a mama and having friends is really hard.
Yeah, it is because it's so important. Like,
Mhm.
definitely, I always think about first and foremost, who are my kids? Who am I putting my kids around? Okay, so like sometimes if like the kids are not like a well meshed with my kids, it kinda doesn't really matter how much I like the mom, like, I will only be friends with the mom, like, outside of our kids in
Mhm.
that situation, like, I won't put my kids in that situation if the you know what I mean? Like, I'm very
Oh, yeah.
picky in that area too,
Yes.
more so.
It's another layer that you have to think about, right?
Mhm.
Who your kids are exposed to, how the kids interact, what is the repercussions of the interactions,
Yeah,
right?
and
It's a lot.
it definitely makes it harder to find a village also because you wanna find like-minded mothers, like-minded families, like-minded values and everything like that, and that also diminishes the size of your village.
Yep, it does. It does. For me, I imagined before motherhood that I would be doing it alone.
Mhm,
Even
mm,
though I grew up with my grandmother next door and my aunts and uncles and cousins living with them, and I lived next door to them basically in an apartment. They had a house, I had an apartment. I thought I would be doing it alone. I thought I would move out of my parents' home and after I went to college and never come back. And then I get married, I buy a house, and I have kids in another state. I actually thought I would be living in Connecticut, honestly,
mm.
with a white picket fence and doing it all by myself, like having a
Yeah,
career and being a mom. And I did not realize what surprised me most about reality is how much I need my group, my family. We moved back to the East Coast to be closer to our families and to let my daughter know her cousins and her
yeah,
aunts and uncles and her grandparents. That's what surprised me was how much I need that village, that group, my core people.
mhm.
That to me was a huge reality check, and I'm glad I got it because it makes life
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, it does, and that is also one thing that I wanted to take into consideration was like, man, I loved going to my grandparents' house when I was a kid, you
Mhm,
know, and I wanted my kids to be, like, really close with my parents, which is their grandparents, you know? I wanted them to have that close relationship because there's, like, something special about grandparents. There just
mhm,
is. And so, yeah, like, we had to move to this small town, which for the first 3 years, I was, like, kicking and screaming. I was telling my husband, like, I wanna move back to the city," and all this stuff. But after the 3 years, like, I adjusted, and I did that in a sacrifice for my kids, honestly, and now it's really worked out because I actually love being in a small town, raising a family and having kids
mhm.
because it's easier. Like everybody's just 10 minutes from the park, you know, like
Yep,
everybody's close to everybody. And
yep.
so if you want to do a play date, everybody's like 5 minutes away. And if we were in the city, I think it would be even more isolating. I
Yeah,
really do.
I think that you also know everyone. I think the
Hmm.
trust factor because, in your small town, and I can attest to this, everyone knows everyone. Everyone
Yeah.
knows everyone's business,
Yeah.
and you want to know what's going on for your kids to know these people. So, for
Yeah.
me, there's, like, a layer of security there, so I get that. But
Yeah.
what you said is true, so the loneliness factor. So, over 50% of moms report feeling isolated. Loneliness isn't just about being sad. It's actually a health risk, and it's been shown to be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. 1 5.
Jeez.
What?
Wow.
Right?
Wow. I wonder if that, there's statistics that America spends like the most money on healthcare, and then we also have like the worst health outcomes. And I
Mhm,
wonder, that has to be contributing because like loneliness is such a big part of our culture, whether you're a mom or not, especially when it comes like the elderly and stuff.
mhm,
And I remember for like 2 years, I didn't have any mom tribe or I didn't have any mom friends, like, I didn't know where to look, I didn't know where to it was just so new to me, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Yeah,
yeah,
and so that's awful.
it
But yeah,
is.
like, adult conversation is rare, it's not just about, like, the loneliness, it's about, like it's not just about talking. It's about feeling like someone has your back, that they're in your corner, that you're like-minded and stuff.
Mhm. Yep, it's letting you know that you're not crazy, right?
That you're not alone.
Exactly. So, in cultures with multi-generational households, mom often feel they don't feel this extreme isolation because someone is always nearby to help out to watch the baby or just to talk. And
Yeah.
I have to agree with that because I have amazing neighbors. I have to say, I have fantastic neighbors. I love my block where very mixed. We're not just families, we're retired, we're a little bit of everything here. And when I just step out of the house after being alone with a toddler all day and I just say hi to the neighbor, it's like, oh, okay, this is better. I can feel the stress just leaving me.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes a big my neighborhood here in my town is awesome too because it's literally filled with a bunch of old retired ladies who are super vibrant and
Yes, they
not
are.
boring.
No,
Yes,
they're not.
and we do this thing in our neighborhood every single month. We all get together and do like a lunch or a dinner or some sort of gathering, either at somebody's house or at a restaurant or something, and it's nice, like, I know all my neighbors. I feel like I could call my neighbors if I really needed them, and they're all a bunch of old ladies, and they've offered to babysit, and they love my kids and stuff, and I love that, but that's
They're all
rare.
grandmas. That's
They're
all
all
grandmas.
grandmas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's
amazing.
not like a normal thing, though. I've never
No,
lived in a neighborhood like that before.
no. W I know pretty much everyone on my block, and I can't say I would trust everyone with my daughter, but I know them.
Yeah.
I so that is rare, that is very rare, but, just knowing that I have someone here to fall back on, like, if I'm having a bad day, to know that I can just go next door to my friend and say,
Mhm.
"Hey, can we just talk or go for a walk or something?" And she's totally up for it, and
Yeah.
that's such a relief, and I would
That's
imagine that's what
needed.
it feels like when you have multiple generations in your home. I know this is silly and little, but when I'm sitting there folding laundry and someone joins me, I feel better. I know
Yeah.
that's dumb, but I do. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm not by myself."
Yeah, it makes it feels less overwhelming, and it also like, I get bored easily, it's just my personality, so, like, if
Mhm,
I'm just sitting there doing nothing but folding laundry, it would be so much nicer to do just having a conversation with somebody else, having some company, and it
mhm.
goes by a lot faster.
It does. It really
It
does.
does. Yeah.
So, can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Like, I was gonna give you a choice, right?
Yeah. I'm over here like, I'm slow to warm up over here." Okay, I guess you could ask me a personal question.
I'm not I'm not gonna give you a choice. I'm gonna ask anyway.
Go
You
easy
answer,
on
that's
me.
up to you. When did you first feel that loneliness as a mom? Do you remember?
Oh, um, probably I mean, so with my first, I was just so enamored with being a mother, like, I actually didn't care. I wanted to be around him, and he was, like, my whole world, the light of my life, and all of that, but, like, I don't know, it was probably when he was an infant, maybe 6 months old, that I realized, like, I'm just kind of hanging out with a baby all the time, and like, I have no friends and I don't talk to anybody. And, I don't know. I guess it was, like, around then maybe?
Mhm.
Maybe and then maybe, like, a year into it, um, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think it was right away necessarily, but maybe it was. I feel like it's so long ago.
Do you feel that loneliness now?
No, I don't think I do.
Because 'Cause you're
No.
never alone?
Yeah, I'm never alone. No, I have found some really like, I'm very, like I said, particular. So I have, like, a couple of you're one of them, really good friends that I can, like, text and I can reach out to or I can call, or that here in town we meet up, like, I have a friend that we meet up with almost every day, or I can
Oh,
invite them over to my house, like, it's nice, but it
mhm.
took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
It took multiple friendships and people moving or friendships not necessarily working out because we don't vibe or like our schedules don't really line up. That's the hard part with
Yeah.
trying to like get together with other moms and kids is there it's like the schedules, you know?
Yes.
So
Nap
but
time is
now
very
yeah.
interfering.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I do feel like now that my kids are getting older, it's a little bit easier to be
Mhm.
more flexible.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I think early on, I had really bad postpartum depression. Really, really bad, and it hit me fast. I think the hormones, the change of hormones for me, because was on IVF hormones to get pregnant, and then I was pregnant, and then the changes of hormone once you give birth really affected my brain, and I felt isolated very early on. And my in-laws were here when my daughter was born, and they were here for the first 3 weeks, I believe. Yeah, first 3 weeks they were with me. And they had to go home because they have lives, they have jobs, and it was time for them to go back to Georgia. And they were packed up, and I was trying to be so brave. They were packed up, they were about to head out to the airport, and I broke down. I was sobbing. I just broke down sobbing in my father-in-law's arms. Like I was his little girl because I am his girl. But I was just bawling, and I was just so scared. And the crazy thing is that I I wasn't gonna be alone. I had my mother-in-law's sister coming up, my Aunt Debbie coming up, my husband's aunt coming up right behind them. Like,
Mhm.
literally, my husband would drop off my in-laws at the airport and pick up my Aunt Debbie. So, there's no gap. But
Mhm.
I was just so scared. Because in my head, I felt like they were leaving, and in my head, I was thinking, "When am I ever gonna see them again?" And the answer is, in a few weeks. We already made those plans, but I just felt so alone.
Yeah.
It was a very dark time for me,
Yeah.
and it it was very humbling how much I needed them because I wasn't physically able or emotionally able to care for my daughter. I was too afraid. I was too
Mhm.
afraid of her. I was too afraid of failing her. And so
Mhm.
that was my first feeling of loneliness.
And then how long did that last? Like, when did you feel like you got to the point where you weren't lonely anymore?
Aunt Debbie stayed for another 3 weeks. She was only supposed to stay for 2, and she realized that my I wasn't ready. So she extended her stay, thank goodness. It was after that, those first 6 weeks when I physically was healed better than with my C-section, that I was starting to be more independent. I could
That helps. Yeah.
Yeah, being able to go to the bathroom on my own or bathing myself was really important. Those are milestones for me at that point. That's when I started feeling better, and I realized in my head, "You have to do this because suck it up. This is your baby. You have to do this because the help is here, but you have to stand up at this point." So,
Mhm.
I did. The postpartum went for a really long time. I did not really enjoy being a mom until I think 6 or 7 months in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't think I bonded with my first baby, like, really,
Really?
until he was, like, 6 months old. Really.
Really? Oh,
Because
wow.
no, it might have been 4 months, but because of the whole breastfeeding thing, and
Yes.
he had a tongue tie, and my nipples were totally destroyed, and they were painful every time that he nursed for 4 months. It was hard to like, that's hard to bond with somebody who's, like, chomping your
Calling
nipples
pain.
off
Yeah.
multiple times a day, and then
Yep.
it wasn't until we finally got that clipped and then
Mhm.
everything started healing and everything. So, like, I can relate to that, like, multiple months feeling like you're not bonding with I feel I'm
Mhm.
like, "Oh, it still affects him," like, but it probably
Mhm.
doesn't. But yeah, I
It
get that.
it probably doesn't. He's great. He's amazing. But in our heads, that mom guilt, right?
Yeah.
I thought honestly, I did not know that. I about you and your oldest, I thought I was bananas. I was like, "My
Mm-mm.
depression is so bad. My hormones are all over the place." I felt very alone in that. And see, that's another thing that I felt very alone with, like, "Oh, it's just me." But again, see, you helped me realize I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I
But
mean, it's hard when you all of a sudden have this human who's so demanding and gives you nothing. And
right?
like all they do is take, 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 and they're so selfish and they don't care about you and they're so demanding and they give you nothing. And it's like, what? But like as they get older, they start giving you more,
Right.
obviously.
You get
And
so
so
much
like
more.
if you have subsequent kids, you actually understand that so that like you don't have those same feelings with the subsequent kids because you know like the reward is coming, you know what I mean? But with
Mhm.
the first one, like how can you see what's
Yeah.
down the road? You can't.
Yeah. You because you don't know. You don't know.
Mhm.
It wasn't until I think my hormones balanced out because it was the breastfeeding for me.
Mhm.
I was tied. I felt I was
Yeah.
tied to her and the
The
pump.
ball and chain, that's what I call them.
Yes.
The ball and
Oh my
chain.
it's true. It's true. And then once I stopped nursing, maybe my hormones evened out or maybe I
Mhm.
was just in a better whatever it was, but it was at that moment that that things started to turn around. And I still have moments where I feel isolated and alone,
Mhm.
but I know how to handle it better and I have a better system in place now because of experience and time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I had a one friend who was like helping me understand that it's a baby, like, it's going to be just selfish, that's what they are, like, you can't have any expectations, and I am full of expectations of everything and everybody in life, like, I cannot not have expectations, even if they're totally unrealistic and ridiculous.
I and if you think evolutionarily, it makes sense. Like the babies who were not kind of like jerks and in your face and constantly needing you and getting your attention, they didn't
Yeah.
survive. It's
Yeah, totally.
so, you know, they can't help it. It's their job. They did it. They're doing it well.
Yeah, they are what they are, and that's that's what it is.
Exactly. Okay, so anyway, here's a number that I find crazy because on the average, US families pay nearly $1,000 a month for childcare. And in some states, infant care, which is always more expensive, can
What?
come up to 20 yeah, because they're infants, they need more, right? Just like we said, they
Oh,
need
I
more.
never thought of
The
that. Okay.
right? I didn't either until I thought about it and I was like, "Oh, yeah," because you need to change your diaper, you need
Makes
to
sense.
hold them, feed them all the time. They need more.
Mhm.
Infant care can top up to $22,000 a year, which is
Oh my
more than
gosh.
college tuition.
Oh my gosh.
What? Right?
Wow.
Okay. And okay, here's some more numbers. Get ready for this. Globally, the difference is incredibly stark. In France, families spend 6 to 10% of their income. Germany, as low as 1% because their
Mm,
government subsidizes everything. But
mm.
here in America, families spend about 20% of their income. And for single moms, we've always said single moms are amazing because they spend nearly 40% of their income on childcare. So it's
Jeez.
isn't that insane? The system is broken. It's not moms.
Yeah, no, and it's because of our culture of like move out of the house, move far away from your family, everybody go do your thing. I think it's a very selfish culture in a way, like definitely, and
Mhm.
isolating, obviously. And so like, yeah, we do it to ourselves. Why do we do this? It's awful.
Well, because society says so. That's what it means to
Yeah.
grow up. But in a lot of ways, we are a capitalist society. And what generates more capital than people going out of the home, starting a life, renting
True.
an apartment, buying a car, buying a house? All those things stimulate our economy. And we are a capitalist economy. So
Mhm.
it's not that you as a mom, you don't lack resilience. Let's reframe it. You lack support, and that's a big difference. It's not the
Mhm.
same thing.
And on top of that, you have all of these pressures to fit into that everything that you just said, like to be basically a productive quote unquote citizen
Mhm.
in the society. And what does that mean? That means generating money like
Yeah,
for the government, for the society, for you know what I mean? And
for a
so
capitalist, society for
yes,
to
so
fatten
it
everyone else's wallets.
yes, it makes sense why, like, stay-at-home moms are so discouraged because, like, to them, we don't participate financially into the society.
Mhm. But let's change the conversation. So you and I are
Yeah.
stay-at-home moms, right?
Mhm.
So how do we as stay-at-home moms you think about the cost of future childcare activities and schooling, all those things. How does that weigh on us? How does that pressure shape our day-to-day choices? Can
Well,
I start? Can I start with
yeah.
that one? The first one
Yeah.
off the top of my head is college. College is stupid expensive. My sister did some number crunching the other day, and to send my daughter to a private university for 4 years when she's ready to go to college will cost nearly $400,000.
Oh my god.
What in the world? So, before she
Ridiculous.
so when the day she was born, I opened a 529 savings account for her. And so
That's
I'm
smart.
diverting funds that I currently can be using for things like diapers and at the time formula and all those things, or even things like for my self-care or even my basic care, I'm diverting it to her future. And
Yeah.
little things like we still drive our very old beat up 2012 Subaru that has no air conditioning and makes a funny rattling noise down as we go down the road
Oh god.
instead of having a car payment, right?
Yeah. Totally.
So that's those are 2 things that just popped into my head.
Yeah, when I think about this, okay, I'm like, so our society really tries to push mothers into putting our babies into childcare because that also is like a contributing factor to the this capitalist society, you know,
Mhm.
and putting us at work. So then we're paying like income taxes and we're contributing to that part. But when you really think about it, okay, I am one person and I'm a stay at home mom of soon to be 4 boys. Okay. So if you think about if I'm raising 4 men to be contributing society members, which the men are the ones that, if you're a stay at home mom, they're the ones that go out and make the money and work and all that, like, what I'm doing is, like, multiplying what I could ever be doing
Huge.
by myself.
Exponentially, exponentially.
Exponentially.
Mhm.
So, I'm actually contributing in a way higher percentage than I could be if you know what I mean? Like, because 'cause I'm raising, like, well-adjusted children who are
Mhm.
going to be more productive, less likely, I hope to God, to be just, like, doing drugs or, you know, like, just rifting off society or something, you know
Being
what I mean?
being a degenerate, basically.
Yeah, like, more they're in a stable, loving home with a mother who is, like, always there. They're probably gonna be more productive citizens when they become men than
Mhm.
they would be if I wasn't there for them.
Yeah.
That's so huge.
It is, it is. When you reframe it in those perspectives, that's massive. Because
Massive.
what can these children, not just your sons, but your daughter too, what is
Mhm,
she capable of? She's gonna go out, she can start her own business. She can
mhm.
start her own whatever she wants to do. The world is her oyster, and she
Yeah.
can contribute so much more than, what you can do because there's
Yeah.
5 of them and only 1 of you. The numbers add up.
I know, it's so true. It like, I've never even thought about it like that until today, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Wow, I'm contributing so much more to society than I ever thought."
I am contributing. There's only 1, but she has very fine taste. So, my daughter is a car girl. She loves vehicles, and the other day, we were at the grocery store, and we're crossing the parking lot to go to the grocery store. She goes, "Mommy, Porsche. I said, "What?" And right there pulling up was a Porsche. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
Wow.
she recognized that?" And so my contribution as a stay-at-home mother to society is that my daughter has finer taste.
Yeah, she'll be spending a lot of money, a lot of her daddy's money.
Daddy's money, it's my money.
I know, I seriously always joke about this, that, like, my husband insisted I get, like, a Honda van, and
Mhm.
I'm like, "Okay," and then my daughter's gonna be like, "I want a pink Tesla," or, "I want a pink Mercedes," and he's gonna all his practicality is gonna go out the window, and he's gonna get her whatever she wants.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Girl dad, right?
Practical for me and for her, whatever she wants.
His
I
little
know.
princess.
It's gonna be great. I actually love that for her. I feel like that's, like, so awesome for her.
Well, they have to earn it, right? That's how I'm gonna say, "Oh, you want your first car to be fancy? You gotta earn it. Oh, you have to
Yeah.
pay for your own gas. Oh, wait, there may not be gas then. Might be all electric."
That's true.
I'm gonna have to rethink this. I always said that
Hmm.
my daughter's first car is gonna be a Hummer because they're huge and they're
Oh,
gas guzzling and that
yes.
she has to pay for her own gas, and heaven forbid if something happens, she'll walk away, because 'cause they're safe,
Yes.
but
Yes.
there may not be gas. So I have to
I
rethink my plans.
I know, I do always tell my husband too, I'm like, "We're gonna get her, like, the safest, like, most expensive car," and then he's like, "No, we're gonna get her an old Ford pickup truck that's, like, made out of steel, like pure steel," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"She is not gonna wanna drive that."
I one time said, "I'm just gonna get her a school bus," and my husband said, "No, it's gonna be a party bus then. Don't do that." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's a good idea."
Oh, yeah, you gotta get, like, a two-door.
A
Two-seater,
one-seater?
even better.
No, one-seater. I don't want anyone in the car with her.
I know, it's so dangerous.
Okay, anyway, we digress. So, how can we rebuild the village from scratch? So, we just agreed that the system is broken, right? And but that doesn't mean we have to give up on connection. Sometimes we have to build our own version of a village, a modern village. So, how can we do that?
Mhm. Well, you know what one of my favorite things in the world is MOPS. I love MOPS, Mothers of Preschoolers. It's actually like a
Oh.
national, um, like, organization, and it's really nice because they typically do it out of churches, but I've gone to, like, so many of these, and they have volunteers. You can drop your kids off at the little childcare right next door, and then you can go and have, like, connections with your moms, like, other moms that are
Aw,
going through the same thing. I love that.
that's
I
great.
I think that's, like, really fun, but, like, it's only in cities for the most part or bigger towns. There's definitely not one here where I live.
Oh.
But, it doesn't have to be perfect. We can find ways to connect, like meet moms at the park. This
Mhm.
podcast, obviously, we can
Yeah.
connect through this and we can find different ways. I don't
It
know. What do
doesn't
you think?
it doesn't have to be like what's established, like our grandmother's villages or anything like that, but it can be virtual, like what we do
Oh,
here.
yeah, true.
Or what I love is going to play places or going to moms groups, going to anywhere where there are kids, you just try to open
Mhm.
up and make friends, right?
Yeah. And if your kids like somebody, then you try to like foster that or foster a relationship with the mother if you can.
Or yeah, or and even if your kids don't like each other, that's okay because you as a woman, you can make your own friends. So it doesn't have to just be, childcare or anything child centered. You can do like a meal swap. Like if you have a friend who's not feeling well, bring them a meal. Your neighbor, right?
Mhm.
I have a friend who's pregnant, and the first thing I asked her was, "What meal can I bring you?" Because I remember thinking,
Yeah.
food is everything.
Yeah, and, it's so great, like, I think that if you can, you should move closer to family, if your family is not psychotic.
If you
But
like your
anyways,
family enough.
yeah, if your
But
family's willing to help.
But there's also a whole thing with chosen family, right?
Yeah, that too.
that I think that's so much more important because these are the people you choose. You're not blood bound. You don't
Mhm.
have to because you grew up with them or anything like that, but because you
Mhm.
actually like them.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I think we can use a lot of um technology. So I think like going to play dates or story times and meeting moms and just starting like a text chain or something like that with a few moms together. I think
Yeah,
that's
group
one way to do it.
chats. I used to be
Mhm,
in a few of those, and those are awesome.
mhm.
Or, like,
Uh,
trade childcare hours.
I
Just
love
1
that.
hour can be, like yeah, like, life-changing.
To just breathe, to get something to eat, I mean, that's everything.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
what else? Uh, Online
Obviously,
communities,
the
I guess.
park, yeah,
Yeah, the park.
online.
Oh, mhm. I've met a lot of friends at the park.
Mhm.
And it's funny because one of my really good friends, the way she and I met is because her daughter and my daughter saw each other in the distance and they yelled, "Friend!" and ran towards each other, but they never knew each other.
Wow,
They
that's
didn't know each other
cute.
at the time, and now they're besties, and her mom and I
Wow.
are good friends too, where she's part of my community, she's part of my village.
Mhm. I think that it's also important if you're feeling isolated or if you're feeling like you're having a hard time like making friends or having a village or whatever, like you really got to put yourself out there. You have to be the one that invites the other moms to the park or that reaches out or that asks for the phone number or like, don't be shy about it, and also don't wait for the other moms to do it because they might be, like, waiting for you. So,
Mhm.
I think it's really important that if this is something that you're struggling with, like isolation or loneliness, like, take that extra step and, like, get out of your comfort zone. It's huge.
It it's It's really important, and it's interesting because it's hard for some people to do that, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me, I'll talk to anyone basically,
I
and
know, same.
I'll be the one to ask for a phone number. But,
Yeah,
to
same.
me, I don't like it, but at the same time, I'm like, "Well, I don't wanna say with the what if," what if she and
Mhm.
I could have become friends or something like that? So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll just eliminate that, and if she says, "No, I don't want to," okay, that's on her. I tried, you know?
Yeah, this is the thing, like, I'm, like, a very much, like, a yes man type. Have you ever seen that movie with Jim Carrey? I think it's called The
Yes.
Yes Man,
Yeah, I think
and
so.
I love that concept, and I am very much like that too. I'm like, I will literally say yes to most anything, right? And
Mhm,
so but also, if you are, like, a mother who's, like, struggling with isolation and loneliness and stuff, and then you have moms who reach out to you, like, reciprocate that.
mhm,
Don't like go into your own isolation still. Like if there's somebody reaching out to you, it's probably because they like you and they want to spend time with you. And then if you're not like reciprocating, they're not going to continue to do that forever, probably most likely, and then that like opportunity could completely be lost. So like take advantage of, hold on to the opportunities that come your way
mhm.
because you never know where that's going to lead.
Right. I think Oprah says it best about luck. It's opportunity meets preparedness. That's what Oprah calls it. And I love that because
Yeah.
anything can be a lucky opportunity.
Mhm.
I think it's fun. So,
Yeah.
uh, is there any place unexpected that you found your village, your tribe?
Um, I mean, I met one of my good friends here at the pool. Like, I guess I didn't expect that. But, like, we met at the pool. It's like, it's a pool where majority of the people who go there are, like, weekenders in our town,
Mhm.
and it's not really, like, the locals that go to this pool. And so I guess I just assumed that she was a weekender, that she didn't live here, so we talked and everything. And then we both, like, talked about this, like, we ran into each other at the story time at the library, like, a couple weeks later or something, and we were both surprised that we lived here. We
You
both had that
you
thought.
thought the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it just, like, blossomed from there.
Mhm. That I think that's amazing. It's when you least expect it, right?
Yeah, and then I also have another friend that, um, I met her at one of my boys' activities, and she was just a mom that was there with her kids,
Mhm,
and I never, like, go to my kids' activities thinking that I'm just gonna, like, make friends,
mhm.
it's not, like, a goal in my mind, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was a fun one.
I think you and I met at the black and white gala.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
we met
not
at a
expecting.
gala in a ball gown.
Exactly. I had no
That's so
idea.
true.
Completely random. I
Yeah.
I find my village in the weirdest places, like, really anywhere, like, I could be like, the other day, I was at my hairstylist because I finally got my hair colored. Finally made plans to do that, yay, and it worked out. But just this lady was just so nice and kind, and she's older, and it turns out she's an older mom too. It turns out she and I, we gave birth around the same age, and she, like I said,
Wow.
she, like, her son is, like, grown and everything, but we totally connected on that, and I was like, "Oh, I feel so good," because someone else related to you, and it's just random, and I maybe at a hairstylist, you expect to talk to people, but I don't know. I wasn't expecting, I was going there to get my hair done, and that's it. And I ended up making a new friend, and that was just so nice.
Yeah, that's nice. I've had, like, friendships rekindle from, like, decades ago where so I have friends and they're much older than me, but I knew them like we knew each other back when I like literally 20 years ago.
Mhm.
But in me having kids and them like wanting to connect with my kids and stuff, like our friendships have gotten stronger or like we reconnected over that. So that was fun.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
recently reconnected with someone in high school. She and I weren't very close in high school, but we went to the same high school. It's very, very small. And she has a couple of kids and they're all older than mine. But through motherhood and through our phones, we and actually it was through Instagram, we DM'd each other and she and I are talking now more than we ever did before in high school. And I think that's
Yeah.
just so cool.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about my like village of friends? It evolves over time. Like there's like certain periods of time where I will one friend in particular will be texting every day, you
Mhm.
know? And then after a while, it's like a different friend. Then we're like texting every day. It's like
Mhm.
it like evolves over time. I don't know. That's how it's been for me.
But isn't that's just life in general, right?
Yeah,
That's all of our connections. It changes over time and
it
hopefully
does.
and ebbs and flows. It's normal.
And you have to be okay with that too, like, you can't be rigid about it, you gotta be okay with, "Okay, well, I'm not as close with this person anymore like I used to be, but I'm close with this one," and that's all a blessing too.
Yeah. It's so our village or our tribe, our group doesn't have to be this fixed thing that we know of in the past. It can be fluid,
Mhm.
it can be and we can rebuild it. So if you ever felt alone, just hear this, you're not failing. The village isn't gone. It just has to be rebuilt somehow.
Yeah, and go with the flow. I feel like that is what motherhood is anyways, is like going with the flow. And you know, you have to be open. You know how you'll plan like an entire day and nothing will go the way that you planned
Oh,
because
yeah.
your children will mess it up. And I feel like that's the same it's the same thing that happens with your village, or at least mine. It like ebbs and flows, it
Mhm.
grows, it shrinks, it changes friends come and go, and like you got to just be open to what it is and just go with
Mhm.
it, just go with the flow, right?
Yep. And all you need is one mom who can say, "I get it. I get it." That's all you
Mhm.
need, right? That's
Mhm.
the opening line. So here's
Yep.
our challenge today. Tag a mom friend who's been your village or maybe one who needs a village in the comments or on our Instagram at Pomcast. That's POMCASTS. The more we say me too, the stronger our village becomes. Thanks for listening.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.